God, he's loud.
Hey, welcome to the Roundtable. Yeah, John is always loud.
Man.
He doesn't need a microphone. I'm Aaron Phillips, the voice. I'm back after a couple of weeks off due to vacation. The mouth, George Miklos, he's here too. He did. Listen, dude, you handled stuff the last couple of weeks professionally, and well done. Good job on that. But you notice,
yes, again,
we're missing. He's not under the table. We've called Leonard Nimoy to try to find. Rick Upchurch is not in studio today. As a matter of fact, he's up in actually Colorado. They have an event. He's involved with an event fundraiser up there, so he is not going to be able to join us. But he had a very successful fishing trip.
Oh, did he really?
Did you see the pictures?
I did see. I was racing through them real quick. I didn't get much of a chance.
Oh my God! First of all, he came clean to me that he did not catch those fish, but he posed with them. So There was a picture that he sent us. He's holding 5 huge rainbow trout,
and he's just posing with
them.
And
he's holding a couple of them. Made it look like he caught them. But beautiful fish, though. But he had a good time with that. And so he came clean to me yesterday that he did not catch those fish. Other people in his party did.
Now, did they eat them?
I asked
I've
him
done that before.
And he refused to tell me on that one. 702-992-3207. Call us. Listen, we got a plethora, and I'm saying
I said that word last time
really?
Didn't I, John? I said plethora.
Did John yell at you?
He said it a plethora amount of time.
I bet. We have so many topics today that we're going to cover. So you're welcome to send us your comments, not only on the Facebook page, but if you're watching us on YouTube, John will see them there. Send them to us, 702-992-3207. That's important if you're listening to us on the app, which, of course, you can download to your Android, WWDBTV. If you have an iPhone Apple product, WWDBTV LV to download that. Take us on the go. Facebook, YouTube. But in about 72 hours, you can go to the WWDBTV Roku channel and pull up the Roundtable.
We're getting everywhere, more and more every.
It's becoming a shorter list of where we're not.
That sounds good to me.
And we want to thank everybody out there for sharing our promos and the videos and everything and helping us. It's what I call the spider effect.
Well, I'm grateful to all my old military buddies,
my
military school buddies from 40 years ago. They've been watching.
Have they really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to call in. I want to learn about George.
It's pretty cool.
Come on, we ought to have this is your life, George.
I have a feeling they're going to be hearing this and they're going to be calling.
That's okay.
There's a couple of them out there.
And worst case scenario, if you see this after we're live, you know what?
That's when they usually
post those comments on our Facebook page. I want to tell stories about George. Go to our Facebook page.
From when he was young.
That's right. That's right, back in the day. So you can do that. We'll share those comments. Matter of fact, for everybody that shares stories about George, whoever gives us the wildest one that he approves, we'll send you some TRT swag.
That I approve?
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's worthy of sharing.
There's
if they've hit the home run with something.
There are a couple out there. We'll see.
And, of course, we have America Speaks coming up later on in the show. But first.
Is that today?
That is today. We have a birthday that we'd like to celebrate, don't we?
We do. I do.
Doc?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Well, what's up, Doc? Yeah, I'm the one who sent it.
That's right.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny.
You son of a bitch.
Bugs Bunny turns 83 today.
What happened? Did you lose it?
Yeah, give me a minute.
That's okay. We're going to talk Bugs Bunny.
Talk about it.
July 27th.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That's insane. Pre-World War II.
83 years.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember as a kid.
Yes.
When I was 6 or 7, 8 years old, my mom worked hard. She was a doctor.
Sure.
But she wanted to sleep in on Saturday mornings.
Right.
There was no waking her up. So she said, if you want to watch cartoons, as soon as you get up at like 5 a.m. We had to unload the dishwasher.
Okay.
And put all
Give
the
you some
dishes
chores.
up. Right.
Okay.
And then we got by 6 a.m. Bugs Bunny.
All right. So you had to earn it.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite Bugs Bunny? I know what mine is. What's your favorite Bugs Bunny episode, if you can recall? The one of like 83 years.
Oh, let's see. I always liked the stuff when he did on Broadway when he was an actor in New York. It was just hilarious. And then I always liked this when he would always turn the tables on someone that was trying to get him, and he just had the carrot. And he was just like,
what's up?
Yeah,
Doc?
just waiting,
That's
knowing
right.
that
Mel
he's
Blanc.
messing with him.
He was
Yeah,
the voice of
all of them
at that time. At that time, here was my favorite episode. It was the baseball game. He's playing all 9 positions and he's pitching against the monster, right? And he throws that really slow ball, giving enough time to run to be the catcher. I mean, that to me, and because, again, baseball, I played baseball and you did, and Yankees and all that, that to me is the one that stuck out to me. I've always loved that one.
He was my favorite, probably my favorite character.
Warner Brothers.
It definitely. That whole group, the Daffy, Donald, Duck,
Porky Pig.
and
that's all, folks.
Yeah, and then you had Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh,
boy, I tell you, boy.
That's right. All right, let's roll. We got a little. Do we have a little video, or we just put a picture up? What do you got?
Just got the picture.
All right, that's
Hang
fine.
on, they're finally uploading.
All right, they're uploading.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny was a favorite. So if you guys liked Bugs Bunny, please,
Yeah, tell us your favorite episode.
Tell us. Yep,
absolutely.
There he is with Elmer.
That's it, with Elmer Fudd.
Just incredible, and especially
Rabbit season, duck season.
Back
there
then,
you go. That's the director one. There you go.
Yeah,
right, but look at the difference.
Yeah.
In this picture.
Okay.
And the early when he first came out.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Right.
Much thinner face, and the ears were much more striking, longer. Go back to the other one. Still the ears, but look at his face and his body.
He started making some money. He got a little fat.
Work done.
He started making some money. He starts wearing the robes and shit. Having the carrot juice, the expensive carrot juice the beach.
Yeah, grade A carrot.
Yeah, he's got his tent back there and everybody.
He's on the.
Poor Elmer looks like, what the fuck?
That's right. Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season.
He was always conniving too in a smart way. He was smart. Bugs Bunny.
Oh, absolutely.
He knew how to get one over on you.
Absolutely.
And he'd run you half to death.
Do they even still run cartoons like that anymore?
Not Saturday morning.
Cartoon Network.
Probably some reruns, but they also have a newer Looney Tunes, which of course is not
kind of classics.
Yeah.
They have that Teletubby shit.
Oh,
yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, no. That first hour of Saturday morning, Bugs Bunny, like you said, with all the stuff, baseball scenes on. Speaking of baseball, you went to a Yankees game.
I did.
Back home.
Saturday, while I was back east, which actually was the reason for that trip. My wife, for Father's Day this year, she said, I want to take you to a Yankee game. We're going to go back east. That's what started this whole trip.
That's cool.
So we saw the Kansas City Royals. She tried to.
Father's Day was in June, right?
Yes, I know. Oh. It was a delayed gift.
Right.
She originally wanted to find tickets to the Red Sox coming into Yankee Stadium.
That would be that's
300. Okay, so we were up in section 312. So if anybody out there, you want to pull up Yankee Stadium seating chart, we were down the right field line. The 400 level was the tippy top. So we weren't there. We were 300.
Okay.
The tickets for that game against the Royals that we saw, $25, literally were $25 a ticket. But for the Red Sox, same seats, George, 300 bills per same seat, section 312. So needless to say,
you're paying for the rivalry.
No, of course.
Right.
So needless to say, we did that one for the cost of going back there, which really wasn't bad. That $300 ticket just didn't fit in because we were paying for 3. My daughter Alyssa.
Why wouldn't you go to a $25 game against the Royals?
Absolutely. But I got to see Garrett Cole pitch. 10 strikeouts, continued his. I think the stat, if I may be off a little bit, but something about having more double-digit strikeout games either as a Yankee or during a season, he beat out Louisiana Lightning. He's number 1 on the list now.
Wow.
Ron Guidry. So that tells you something there. But it was pretty cool. DJ LeMahieu smacked a home run.
And that crowd.
Yeah, I mean,
New York
listen.
crowd
Oh,
like that.
and
Yankee
Stanton,
crowd.
Giancarlo Stanton, when he started the game, he was batting 193. But I think he went 2 for 4, had a single and an RBI in the first inning, and he smacked a home run. So then Judge is supposed to be coming back. So maybe there's some hope for the Yankees to at least get into the playoffs with a wild card. But I love it. It's a great experience. As someone now who can say I've seen a game in both the previous Yankee Stadium, which the big tall baseball bat is still there across the street, and now this stadium, it was a great experience.
I have a question for you. I love New York City, and it's been a while since I've been there. Did you get a chance to, and you're in a good shape, you've been working out, did you get a chance to go eat some good old down food right there in New York City, the pizza or the Stromboli's,
there is
or
a
the
picture that I
pastrami
posted.
sandwich, the Jewish delis?
So
oh my God.
So
Tell me
of course,
more.
when you've got the hot dog carts. Right?
Of course, yeah, okay.
So I did post a picture of Eileen and I. We grabbed a dog together, and she snapped a picture of me biting into it. And there is a picture in my gallery of maybe not the one I posted of all the ones today, but if you go back while I was there, I did share that. So we did a soubrette, we did a pretzel. We did before we saw the Book of Mormon Thursday night. We had time. We went to Carnegie Deli, which was a couple of blocks away. That's also
very good. That's okay. Yeah. So, Book of Mormon, how was that? Was on Broadway?
On Broadway.
Okay.
Hilarious. It's if you got. It was here at the Smith Center a couple of years ago, and if you ever have a chance to see it, folks, if it comes to your city on the national tour, or if you go to Broadway, you've got to see it because. And it was we were talking about this beforehand. The guys who do South Park,
unbelievable,
wrote this one.
That's hilarious.
But the lyrics in many of the songs and the presentations are of today's current names.
Okay.
And one of the funniest bits was one of the elders, and I'm not going to give it all away, but the one not so smart elder who makes this trip to Africa, there's the daughter of one of the leaders. And of course, it was a long African name.
Right.
And the funny bit with this, the running bit throughout the show is he couldn't remember it.
Right.
All he remembered that it was beginning with the letter N. And so throughout the show, he called her Neosporin, Nitrogena, because he couldn't come up with it. It was the funniest running gag throughout the entire, but it's great. Now, the next night we saw the Staples, Chicago. My daughter works a sub audio engineer for about 3 or 4 shows, Hamilton, Chicago, and Book of Mormon. So we saw Chicago the next night.
What a great experience for her.
Oh, my God. First, for her, tremendous. And she's got a great resume, as it is. I lived in Jersey 38 years of my first 59 years of my life. I never saw a show.
Never went to Broadway.
I hated Times Square. I hate the feel of just not 8 million people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So now here I am in 24 hours. I didn't see one, but now I saw 2 Broadway shows. We took a walk down to Pier 88. We saw The Intrepid. What else did we do? We did eat at an Italian restaurant. Of course, you got to do that.
You have to.
So we did many of the staples. Some of it
Any
by
old
accident.
mobsters sitting around?
No.
They're all gone now.
So it wasn't a family restaurant?
No, it was not a family. If they were,
it wasn't a family restaurant.
I couldn't tell you even if they were.
It was a fucking family.
But then Sunday we went down to Point Pleasant Beach, the shore.
Yeah, I saw those pictures too.
The weather was absolutely perfect. Beautiful. We got on the beach about 10 o'clock. We got off the beach about 5.
So what, 85?
Oh, it was mid to upper 90s. Humidity.
Oh, no shit.
I mean, 80s. I mean, it was like 89, 88.
Okay.
Low humidity for that area. Nice, beautiful breeze. The water was too cold for me. I got into my waist. But
no sharks?
No sharks. The undertows and all of that stuff were very strong. Was knocked my sister down, gave her a couple of bruises. You can't come out of that ocean by yourself.
Right.
But it was beautiful. I had a great trip. And I said it publicly. I hated worrying about the logistics of the busing and this. My daughter, God bless her, she has it down pat because she does it every day.
Yeah.
The trip out, she had it all mapped out to go to the Yankee Stadium because we took the subway.
Subways
but
in
let
New
me
York.
tell you, I couldn't wait to get home to rest. I couldn't wait to get home to rest.
Vacation. You come home from vacation, you're tired.
My vacation in Havasu was a true vacation. I sat in the lake and
New
did
York,
nothing.
You were just on the go.
But I listen.
But you look back now, you look at all the photos,
of course,
all
the photos, and listen. I updated my Yankee gear, my jerseys and shirts. My wife God bless her. She planned all this out, and she picked out most of what I purchased, and we're talking some nice jerseys. So it wasn't even my, honey, can I buy this? It was like, I really like this for you. All right. So, and my dad got a shirt.
When it's like that, you're just going, well, all right.
Yeah, so exactly.
Okay.
And we tried to get as much shopping done before the game because, there's the stores along the area there.
Right.
Because I didn't want to carry all that. Found everything except for two things. Something for my daughter that she wanted and a shirt for my dad.
Right.
Couldn't find what we wanted, but we found something at the stadium. But there was just two small items my wife was able to put into her little messenger pouch that she was wearing, so it was perfect. But anyway, I'm sorry to go that long.
She
but
stole them?
No. We bought them. I have the receipt.
I wasn't going to say. I was going. Well,
but check this out. You know why we went out without a bag? They charge for a plastic bag to put them in at the stadium.
It's ridiculous, man.
Like
they charge for
$1, whatever it was. Eileen's like, no, I have to carry them out. It's just I rolled them up and they fit right in her messenger bag. It was crazy. I mean, now they're charging here when you go to Albertsons. It's the same thing back there.
Oh, it's the same thing. I walked in today to get some screens and some papers, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I said, these used to be $1. What the?
Exactly. Now, we also have another birthday we want to mention. The Queen of Comedy.
Yes. Miss Carol Burnett.
Why are you forgetting this? You sent me all this, and I'm setting it up for you.
Well, I did. I didn't think but 2 seconds there, not even. But yeah, actually, Carol Burnett.
Yes.
Anybody out there? You guys ever watch Carol Burnett out there? She just turned 90. Yeah.
Hilarious.
My whole career is doing improv and comedy on the Strip in Las Vegas in the mid to late 90s at all the comedy clubs was from watching Carol Burnett when I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. When she would come out on stage and then they would go into their improv bits with Harvey Korman and Tim Conway.
I mean, that's A+. Was typical. The dentist scene.
Oh, and
Mr.
Vicki Lawrence.
Mr. Tuckaball. Well, that's where Mama, for those that don't know,
Mama's
the
Family.
TV show came off of that.
Right. And
John, can we get the air turned on, please?
And that's that's right. I Dream of Jeannie. But no, that's where I got all my comedy stuff.
I've been in studio and these lights are killing me.
But plus yeah, it's you are. You look good.
Listen, when people talk about the Carol Burnett show, the one scene, right? Gone with the Wind? And she comes down.
Where she uses the drapes.
The curtains.
The curtains with the rod. And there was so much good stuff from her, and it was all improvisational. They would have a beginning, a middle, and the end.
Sure.
And then the rest you just fill in.
And I mean, I'm presuming, I'm sure you know, and I don't know how many people out there watching, but at the end of the show, when she sings her song goodbye,
with the ear, that's trademarked.
But you know why?
Why that's a message to her mom.
That's right. I remember hearing the story.
That's right.
Hello to hi, Mom.
That's right. It was a signal to her mom. Exactly right. And I loved the opening when she would take questions from the audience.
Right.
And I remember this one teenage boy, 16, 17. His question was, "Can I come up and kiss you?"
She let him.
Yes, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
She hesitated for a moment. She said, "All right, we'll let you come up."
You knew who was a big supporter of hers in her early days?
Lucille Ball.
Correct. Jeez, that was quick. I didn't even get to finish the sentence.
I thought you were done.
It's like the password or something. Yeah, Lucille Ball was a big supporter of hers.
Yeah, she showed up on the show a number of times too.
She
on
did.
The Carol Burnett show.
And Carol Burnett still looks good for 90. She lives in Hawaii.
And she had a rough life because she lost her children, one of her sons or something.
A daughter.
Yeah,
drug overdose. A while back.
But she's made cameos within, not recently, but within the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, she's done, if you go to her IMDb page, she's done a few movies and some stuff. I think even voiceovers for animation.
Yeah.
But no, Carol Burnett was awesome. That's where I got my love for comedy.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, correct.
I'm afraid to tug my ear to say hi to Carol if it's copyrighted. I don't want to get a letter.
I don't think. 1, 2, 3.
To you, Carol. Happy birthday. All right. All right. We're at the end of our first segment already. Let's step aside for our first break because we have so much to do and cover. A plethora. So we're going to share all as a surprise. You're watching the Roundtable minus Rick Upchurch. We're thinking everybody. We'll see you. We'll be right back. See you next week, Rick. Hey, everybody. I am Aaron Phillips. You are?
I'm Governor Val Brown Klingelhofer.
And we host what kind of show?
We host the most fabulous show on this network you've ever seen. It's all about Kiwanis and what's going on in our different cities.
And Kiwanis Connects is the title, and you can watch us every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, right on Facebook or WWDBTV. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.
speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've gotta have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
Yes.
And you're back.
Hi, welcome
Hi.
back to the
I'm putting
table.
some stuff in under the table.
That's right. Well, it's all right. Before we went to break, I said to John, I said, I haven't been here, 2 weeks roughly?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I got a nice tan going. I'll never catch up to Rick Upchurch. I made that clear, and we laughed about it. I talked to him yesterday. But all of a sudden, it's like with the lights and everything, all of a sudden I got a little lightheaded.
I'm drinking the lights.
So somehow
110.
John has a box of saltwater taffy from Point Pleasant Beach. I wonder how that got here. So I'm going to be having to take little pieces of that. And,
here we do. Commercial, like the old days.
That's right.
It's like the 1950s. And
That's
brought
right.
to you by
That's
Saltwater
That's right.
Taffy.
What's his name? Red
Jenkinson's Boardwalk Taffy.
That's
Is that what it's
right.
called? Okay.
What was the gin?
Yeah, back in the 50s they did
Red Skelton did a routine.
another great guy.
Gin. Oh, I loved him.
You ever
My
seen
mother
the
and I have such
flag,
great memories.
The Independence
Oh,
Day one.
love that. I play that every year. A good friend of mine, Brian Hoffman, who's down in Tennessee, does a Red Skelton tribute show. Looks like him, the whole
Really?
mannerisms. Look him up on Facebook. Folks, if you're in that area or if he's coming, he is. Got to go check him out. Every year when they celebrate Red's birthday in Vincennes, Indiana,
Right.
you know who's the Grand Marshal? My friend Brian.
Wow.
His wife. His wife has approved everything. It's her anyway. So Smuggler's Gin. So he does the commercial.
It's just
funny.
fantastic.
It's
yeah.
funny. Anyway, so let's get started with some other topics. We have also a passing that happened just this past week, a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So why don't you take that one?
Sinead O'Connor passed away, the famous Irish singer. She had some issues in her life. I was not a big fan, but I loved that song, the Nothing Compares to You, which was actually Prince wrote that song. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's on one of his albums, but she took it and totally did something totally different with it, an original, and it went to number one in 1991. She was nominated and won a bunch of Grammys for it. She's over
56.
the years had a couple good albums, but 56.
But notorious for one act on television.
And that was back at 94 maybe when she was on
Bob Marley.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live, and she ripped up the picture of the Pope.
And the reason though was
at the time, it was the beginnings and the rumblings
of abuse,
of the sexual abuse going along in the Catholic Church. Mm-hmm. Again, it hadn't been. It was just rumblings and rumors at that point. Now we know later on that it was true. It is true and all that stuff. But she took a risk when she did it, and they say that her career was ruined because of that moment. She said it was the beginning of her career by doing it. Of course, she's going to say that. Mm-hmm. But she had some. We've talked about mental health on this show many times.
Yep.
And I guess she had some issues. And she had a son who committed suicide about a year and a half ago, which we've talked about that stuff.
Out,
not for her.
No cause. Right.
Yeah.
56, they found a woman unresponsive.
Yeah.
And as of an article that I saw on my way here, they have the autopsies in the works or it's about to get started.
It'll take weeks.
Exactly. So there was an initial thought, maybe some foul play. But this article also went out there to stop all of those rumors that it was foul play, had nothing to do with it. But they don't want to announce any determination until they do the autopsy.
Well, I mean, she, again, 56 years old, not old, not young, middle-aged, above. Sometimes stuff starts to happen, that kind of thing. And who knows? I don't know if there was drugs or alcohol in her life in the past or not, but that kind of stuff can come back to haunt you too. So who knows? We'll find out. But again, rest in peace, Sinead.
Absolutely. Thoughts and prayers to the family.
Yep.
So before we get into some of the lighter topics that we have on the agenda, were we using one of these for America Speaks? You have something different for America Speaks.
I can use anything for America Speaks.
Okay, so I don't want to cover one. I want to. Which one of these you want to use?
Let's see. Which ones have you written down?
Everyone you sent me. Everything
okay,
you sent
let me
me.
see. let's see.
By the way, thoughts and prayers goes out to the LeBron James family.
We'll do
the top one.
Yeah,
okay.
Just leave that alone.
Because that's kind of light.
Yeah, that's kind of. I'll use that.
Very good. Okay.
Now,
what was I? Oh, LeBron James' son, Bronny.
Yeah,
18 years old.
That's crazy, isn't it? He 18 years old at practice, just a couple days ago, and had a cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Again, we haven't heard much details, but when you hear cardiac arrest, now you think all of a sudden Damar Hamlin in Buffalo last year.
Absolutely.
So again, we don't know the specifics if he had contact with another player or if it's just kind of like a Len Bias thing. Remember when he just kind of collapsed?
Yeah, no details has come out about what happened yet. But LeBron supposedly is taking it very, very hard about what happened to his son.
Well, I mean,
I don't blame him.
Yeah. Again, LeBron's only 38 himself. Right. He's young. And, stuff like that can happen. And, again, he's out of ICU. He only spent one night. Right. He's young. He's 18. Who knows what's going to happen as far as his basketball career or not. But, we'll see.
Okay, well, hopefully he'll have a speedy recovery. Because one of the things that LeBron has said that he wants to do before he retires is play in the same game, same team with his son.
And that kind of is on the back burner at this point.
Oh, of course.
For now. So we'll see how that. First of all, I didn't know Bronny's. In basketball, you can leave college early, like a freshman or a sophomore.
Oh yeah, now it's a 1-year rule now. After your freshman year, you can bolt and get into the draft.
How do you think about that? Real quick?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
This came through maybe 5-ish years ago. Because guys were jumping ship after a couple of years anyway, right. Especially out of Kentucky.
Sophomore, you had to at least be sophomore, at least to me, junior.
I don't like it. You go to college, you make a commitment, the school makes a commitment to you. I'm sorry, you should be there 4 years.
I agree.
Get your degree because you know what?
You never know what's going to happen.
Right, well, and here's an example of it. Here's a kid who's 18 who, although he UCLA, right? That's where he got drafted.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, he may never be able to set foot on a basketball court again. Now, granted, he's young in his college career, and he still has that education ahead of him, potential to graduate with a degree. But you just don't know. Damar Hamlin, he thank God he recovered. He's going to be back on the field. But what if he didn't? He needed something else to fall back on.
And that's crazy too. That's what worries me.
Well, hopefully.
Kind of got lucky because they paid him off the initial contract, and now he's signed again to play again. So he kind of lucked out there with that.
Absolutely.
But anyway. So we'll see. But yeah, he should recover. He's only 18.
Let's hope so. So thoughts and prayers go out to the James family for sure. Okay. Do you want to you want to stick with sports and someone from your Raiders team?
Yes, we can do that since we're here.
That one.
The Raiders. The Raiders.
I'll let him announce it. I'll let him talk.
What are we doing, man? Now Josh Jacobs has left the team. He's gone wherever. He left Vegas. Mm-hmm. What is Josh McDaniels doing? I mean, I don't know. All of a sudden now running backs aren't worth the piece of paper they sign now.
Well, that's what happened in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That they're. I mean, look what happened. I mean, Saquon. He finally signed his 1-year contract with a ton of incentives. Got an increase in the guaranteed contract, but those contracts are not anything like they used to be.
Well, he's still worth $10 million a year as a running back.
He wanted 16.
Well, he's not.
That was the thing, and he's not going to get it.
Right.
So he got $2 million signing bonus, plus the 10 of the 12, whatever it was. Big percentage of it was also guaranteed with the signing bonus of $2 million, $900,000 worth of plain incentives.
Okay.
So this franchise tag, which had an initial, I think, $12 million value, could go up to 13, 14.
Right.
Which is where they should have ended up in a contract anyway.
Right.
He wanted 16. The franchise was offering, the franchise tag was like 12. Get in the middle, sign a multi-year contract.
Yeah, 13, 14.
A couple more years, and that's, but anyways, we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling. It's just a bad feeling with Josh McDaniels, what he's doing. So
And they need the running game because you got Garoppolo or whoever.
Why don't you wait one more season? Jesus, give it one more time. You got a new quarterback now.
Didn't they franchise tag him? Jacobs, did they franchise tag him?
Well, they wanted to, but I don't think or did they do it last year?
I don't know. I don't think
so.
You're the Raiders guy.
I don't think they did. That's why he didn't want to be.
Jeez. But they need a running back. How about Dalvin Cook visited the Jets today? And Aaron Rodgers restructured and decreased his contract yesterday.
We'll see about the Jets. I'm not sure if Aaron Rodgers can even.
Everybody's telling him, Mike Greenberg, God bless him, as we know, is a huge Jets fan. He's like he's
Super Bowl.
right? Exactly. He's like
Right.
he's talking like it's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah,
Sliced
sliced bread.
bread.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
See,
Aaron's
show
going
me-
to bleed in the
Exactly.
AFC East.
He showed me Elmer Fudd, and now I'm speaking like him.
Blah, 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 blah.
So here's my Giants are coming out this year in November to play the Raiders.
That's right. Are you going to go? Or are
I
you
still
gonna
have trepidations. I don't want
I've
to.
seen the tickets are like $300 or $400, man. It's
Well,
crazy.
the cousins of my wife's side of the family,
Oh.
who helped arrange for the tickets for the Yankee game, who we also met up with them, they're huge Giants fans.
Well, maybe.
And they want to come this way, and they're coming in November. I'm like, you know what?
Maybe
Why
you
go
let
to
him-
a stadium with 65,000 people that are not my fans? I risk my life.
You
wearing
will.
a Giants gear. But
Hey.
I can sit in my house, a nice big screen television, no lines to the bathroom, get food when I want to.
Cheaper too.
Cheaper. I can, you know what? I can charge parking if someone wants to come to my house. But anyway, so we'll see what happens with that.
I went to a
Do you offer valet?
Sure. Why not? I'll move it to 5 feet, then I'll just move it out in front of my house.
I went to Raiders.
You can use the tips to pay for your cable.
And I went to the Raiders game in Oakland when they played the Broncos. My sister,
Did you see Rick play at that time? Was it?
No, this was not. That was
Oh, okay.
2000 and 2001. It was right after 9/11, a couple of months after 9/11. So, that was a pretty fun time.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Anytime you see a game like that, Giants Raiders, that'd be a great game.
Well, you know what? I have to tell you, when we got into Yankee Stadium and we got up to our section, I don't know if my wife or my family members saw it, but as soon as I came through the tunnel, you have to stop to absorb the stadium, the green grass, the history in that building. Well, not that particular one, but Yankee Stadium. You have to just soak it in like you feel the dreams. You see it, you're just like, holy cow. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, the rivalry kind of stuff to be a part of, I did that with college. I mean, going to Penn State, I saw the last Penn State-Syracuse game. Eileen and I drove out there back in the day. The last time when that rivalry ended back in the day, was out there for that. And of course, Pitt, Penn State, and I have all these, the Ohio State, Michigan. To be in an arena when you have those kind of games, Raiders, Broncos, like
Right.
you were, it's a whole different atmosphere.
I have a story to tell. I did a security gig years ago for the Rose Bowl, New Year's
Yes.
Eve, 2011.
Obviously,
It was Northwestern against somebody, but we had to go down, and
Northwesterns are bad
the
here
night
nowadays.
before we had to go to the Rose Bowl, and we assisted the local San Bernardino Sheriff's Department and all the cops to make sure there was no, with bomb sniffing dogs and all that stuff. And at 3 a.m, because I worked overnight, and one of my bosses at the time was, "Hey, why don't you go? You're a big football guy and all that, and you played and all this. Why don't you go take a walk? Just don't step on the field," because the field was, done, ready for the game, and all the lights were on, and you could hear a pin drop in this stadium.
Sure.
But I walked through the tunnel,
Right.
and as you're walking through the tunnel, and you see all the names carved in to all the players that played in the Rose Bowl over the years. You're seeing the Ghost, Red Grange,
Right.
and you're like, Red Grange. You're going, what the? And you keep walking and seeing all these players and Jim Thorpe. I'm like, what the? And then you step right at the out of the tunnel, and then there's the edge where the carpet starts the field, and you just look out at it. This is where the players run out for the last 100 years.
Right.
And you're like, you get this feeling, wow. It was I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
I went
Oh,
by
absolutely.
myself.
Absolutely.
Had a half-hour break. He goes, "Yeah, we'll walk around, man.
Sure.
Just don't step on the field." I said,
Right.
"Okay."
Yeah, that's cool.
You just walked out in that tunnel like you were fixing to run out on the field for the game. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just it's everybody has their moments that takes you back, and to me, sports is just one of those things that you live through vicariously.
Sports and music
Sports and music
helped
I
me
agree
get
with
through
that.
my life, and a lot of us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that with music.
And there's moments of your life that you remember be based on a song
Right.
or a sporting or an event or a game that you had in the past. So
All right, let's. I have a couple of ways I want to go here, but let's talk. I want you to lead the conversation because a lot of this was going on while I was away. What's happening with our soldier Travis King in North Korea?
okay, first of all, Travis King had been arrested before. He had served a couple of months in a South Korean jail or military jail, because he's stationed over there. He got in a fight with a South Korean citizen and beat him up. got arrested, got thrown in the police car, started kicking the police car and busting the windows out, and did like he got fined like $4,000 or $5,000. Then he got put in jail. Then he escaped. Again, I'm not sure if it was a military jail or if it was a South Korean jail, but he escaped. And there was a tour going on in South Korea showing the DMZ and the line there across to North Korea. Mm-hmm. And he suddenly hear this guy screaming and yelling and laughing hysterically as he's running towards North Korea. Now, the fact that South Korea didn't try to stop him and North Korea didn't shoot him in his tracks, he's disappeared now. He's gone.
Jeez.
And the family's worried. Well, okay, it's okay to be worried, but I don't know the whole circumstances. But you don't go running crazy and run laughing hysterically and running across the border to North Korea. Do you realize what's going to happen to you?
Right.
You may never be seen again. So now I don't know. Part of me feels bad for the whole city, but then there's part of me going, "Well, what the hell? You had to have known.
Himself,
you
right?
had to have known what was going to happen. First of all, you had gotten fined for the incident that you caused, and it was almost at the tail end. Apparently, he was going to get out, and everything was going to be fine. And he flipped out and went crazy or whatever, started laughing hysterically, and ran across through North Korea.
It's something they always say in any situation: know your surroundings.
You
right?
should know that you're a soldier. First of all, you
right.
know where not to cross and
right.
where to be. And I don't know if he was on post or
was
had
he
actually
drunk or something. Was there something that caused him to? Anything in the articles?
There was nothing about alcohol or drugs at all.
Wow.
It doesn't mean it wasn't involved, but it wasn't mentioned.
Right. Wow.
And first of all, you just got to be. We say, "Oh, he must be fucking crazy to go across the." Well, something's wrong.
Right.
To just decide that you want to go across North Korea.
Right. So who's involved from a political standpoint investigating this? Is the U.S. out there investigating? Are we relying on Korea?
We have South Korea and the
okay.
U.S. military right now. And I think the State Department's gotten involved now. But what are you going to do? Kim Jong-un, and we're not going to get political, but Kim Jong-un is not in the best relationship with the United States right now.
Well, that's no secret.
A little before all this, there was something that could have been worked out, but now with the way things are now, I don't feel bad. Remember the other guy? What was his name? Warner, or the other young kid that was over there in North Korea, and he defaced a picture of Kim Jong-un in a hotel room, and they arrested him. Warnerby starts with a W. His last name. He was a young kid, and he died back in the United States. They got out, but they had beaten him up or done some kind of crazy shit to him.
Jeez.
And you don't go to North Korea and then start moving pictures around or spitting on the sidewalk. You just don't do that stuff.
Respect where you are.
You just don't do that kind of stuff because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's hope that everything. Let's hope at least that nothing silly has happened to him or crazy. Hopefully, we
already have enough problems over there.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need anything else to add to the pile, so to speak. All right, I want to step aside for our second break a tad early because we have a couple more topics. America Speaks, and hopefully your thoughts. You're watching Roundtable. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas, and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
Swallow.
Welcome back. Thank you for tuning into the Roundtable. Aaron Phillips, the voice. George Miklos, the mouth. John JPEG Styles behind the board. And Rick,
JPEG Styles?
Yeah, JPEG. That's his initials. Honestly, that is his initials. And Rick Upchurch, he's up in Colorado attending an event up there. And so we'll hopefully we'll be back in studio because you know what? We have a 1-year anniversary coming up.
Can you believe that?
1 year when we launched this show.
Unbelievable.
Bringing to you, I think not this Saturday. I think the 12th is the
right. I thought
so we have 2 weeks.
15th or so. Yeah.
Whatever that Thursday is. So we're honing in on 1 year of the Roundtable.
Unbelievable.
And they said it wouldn't last. But anyway, yeah, exactly. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that. Let's get to some lighter-hearted stuff. What's your plans for retirement? Have you? I know you're busy working. I'm working. Everybody's working, but somewhere down the line, I'm sure you and your wife were discussing retirement. Yeah.
Well, we've discussed it, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. I've always thought I'll probably work till I drop, no matter what it is. But no, we've talked retirement and where we want to go on vacation. And speaking of that, I'd like to go to. I've been to San Diego once, and that was to catch a cruise ship.
Very expensive though.
San Diego is? Yeah, cruise ships aren't bad. San Diego is.
No, I don't.
I always wanted to go to stay at the Coronado, and I looked at $600 a night.
Start saving now.
I saw that $600 a night, and but I always had this fascination with that place. A great story, great history, but we caught a cruise ship out of there, and I'll tell you one thing. Going on a cruise, and you've been on one just recently.
March was my first one.
Well, there is a couple. And I've heard this before. There's other couples out there. There's a couple out there that have found out, or found for them, that it's cheaper to travel the world on a cruise ship than it is to retire in a retirement home.
It's not bad.
You're talking, I don't know, for some retirement homes, if there's two couples, there's a couple, two. I would think $3,000 or $4,000 a month.
Are you talking about like an assisted living retirement?
Yeah,
home?
you're talking $3,000 or $4,000 a month for that stuff. But they have found that going and traveling around the world on a cruise ship for the rest of their life is cheaper.
Yeah, well,
so that's what they're doing.
Think about it. You're paying for your room, right? Your room and board, food,
right?
You don't have. I mean, I guess that would be exchange for rent or mortgage. Paying whatever fees. I mean, I'm sure they. I shouldn't say I'm sure. I would hope that they reached out to the company, whoever they're cruising with, and said, "Hey, this is what we want to do," and they at least got a bulk rate to pay.
Now,
there's actually quite a number of people that do that.
Yes,
so they have to get special rates though.
It's almost a niche industry.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of a community. They have these cruise ships where you can buy yearly passes.
Yep.
And I don't know the extent of what they get, what's involved, but yeah, you could stay on the water year round.
Right.
There's certain booking or packages that you can purchase.
The only downside I would have with that is the entertainment would get very repetitive. Because you're going to pretty much see there's almost the same.
Yeah,
shows.
but can you imagine just living on a cruise ship for the rest of your life versus an assisted living apartment? I could see Tom Jones every night for the next 10 years. That would be
same
okay
set,
with it.
Same music and everything.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of it entertainment. Oh, they probably would change here and there. You might change ships once in a while. That kind of thing. No, I would much better.
They participate in excursions, right?
Oh, yeah.
This couple.
Well, yeah, they have year-long cruises. They have 3 or 4 or 5 month cruises. Right. I would imagine that's what they're doing.
Right.
I can't see them justifying going on a 2-week cruise here,
Oh,
2-week cruise there.
No,
you have to get these specific cruises that are out there for months or a year.
Right.
And it's a lifestyle. It is, and you have to get used to it. But I think once you got into it, I think it would be cool if you had a couple of bucks.
And depending upon where the boat is, where they're going, I mean, it's a different way to see the world, right? So
what we want to do, and they're expensive also, here in the U.S., the cruises down the Mississippi River. Have you seen those long, real thin,
paddle boats?
Narrow? No, those too, but there's these long, narrow ships. They're real long, and they hold like 300 or 400 people, if that.
Okay.
And it's 5 or 6 day cruise from up Minnesota or down the Mississippi, from up north down to New Orleans and all the Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, middle America type stuff in New Orleans and hitting the Mississippi, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And they're expensive, but that would be a cool way to cruise too. So, but yeah, people live on them. The food, everything's all included,
right?
Inclusive.
Right.
If you do the inclusive cruises,
right,
you don't have to get off at every port. It's good to have a passport just in case.
Oh, you should. Well, to travel on cruises, I think you have to have anyway, just because you're always going to.
In the old days, you didn't have to. Like if you did a Mexico cruise, we didn't need a passport. We just didn't. We got off the ship at Ensenada and you got back on, or down in Acapulco or Cabo. But now you do.
Funny statistic.
Sure.
There are more illegal Americans in Mexico than there are illegal Mexicans in the United States.
Is that really?
That is an honest to God true fact.
I am going to have to question that, John, because I do know.
Google it, mother.
I'm gonna Google it. That's what she would say.
We have
Google
on
it.
The field.
There is. Where's the flag? Where's the flag? Because Americans,
we
we can't go out down there and buy property, you have to live there for a while before you can even buy property.
That's not true.
But you can go down there and
I
have
have a
a.
brother's-in-law that owns a house down there.
Okay,
Right now.
all right, here we go.
No,
The
no,
brother-in-law, the sister, the
Down
dog.
in Puerto Penasco.
Where's that at?
That's on the.
So you can just go to Mexico right now and buy a house and move in.
Yeah.
There's no set, because you can't just buy a house anywhere else without becoming a citizen and living there for a certain period of time.
You can in certain countries where their economy is really bad.
Well,
Nicaragua, South America, there's a lot.
Costa
I was gonna say,
Rica.
get them dirt cheap there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just mention the cartel.
Oh, well,
they'll
here's
give
a
you
question I
discount.
got for you. And again, if you take a 2-week cruise from San Diego or out of LA to Hawaii, do you need a passport? Because you're only going for that is the one cruise that I can't imagine you would need a passport because you're.
But are you still traveling international waters?
Yeah,
Going
but I
from-
don't. But there's no stop.
You're still within the United States.
Yeah, the land is.
And you're not getting off anywhere.
Right.
Right.
That's
So,
the big
yeah.
key that you're not getting off.
Interesting.
Now you do need. Do you need a passport if you take a cruise from Seattle up to Alaska, and they might stop in Canada, but do you need a passport for that trip if you go from?
Only if you're going during the week. If you go on the weekend.
Oh fuck! Here we go. Here we comedy again at its finest, and I'm out of work.
Speaking of shitty replies,
Yes, perfect segue.
Dr.
Perfect
Miklos,
segue.
Dr.
Yes.
Miklos found an interesting article, and I'll just give you the title. Do you have the article information?
No, I don't really. I had it memorized though.
Oh, you do? Oh, great.
According to medical science,
Time to squeeze the Charmin.
yes, you're going to be squeezing a lot of it. They say that the medical,
Who's they?
the medical,
AMA?
yeah, the medical doctors or whatever
Okay.
if you're someone who does not empty your bowels, take a shit, go poop every 3 days, if you only go every 3-4 days, that there's a possibility that you might have issues with Alzheimer's or dementia later on in
Cognitive
life.
issues.
Yes, I was like, how the hell is that the tie-in? Well, you're just trying to keep your insides clean, and the more you go to the bathroom and go take a shit or whatever, you're cleansing out yourself. And I don't know if bacteria, if you don't, sticks in there and you end up losing your fucking mind. But who knows? But no, they're saying that I take shit, 5, 6, 7 times a day before noon, especially if I drink coffee. There's no one that can ever tell me I'm full of shit.
You should have an IQ of about 200.
Right. And if you ever tell me I'm full of shit, I'll call you a liar because I take a shit 7 times.
But I want to digest this for a second.
Digest it.
Because Alzheimer's and those cognitive skills are issues, obviously, in the brain.
Right.
What does your ass have to do with your brain unless it's been shoved up your ass so many times?
Right.
You can't
Well,
think straight.
I guess if you don't poop a lot, the bacteria builds up in your body and it goes to your bloodstream and all that kind of thing. Yeah, that kind of thing too.
Chemicals in your brain.
Okay.
There you are,
Yeah.
Dr. John.
And no, listen, seriously.
You guys made it serious when I tried to want to make it.
Oh,
Yeah.
but they are saying that they're very close to having medication that will slow down Alzheimer's and some other cognitive diseases. So,
Well, let's hope so.
Well,
good news. Yeah,
I would say,
for me, man.
well, as long as you take a poop once, twice a day.
Yeah, make sure you poop
Oh,
on
I'm
schedule.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And know your fiber,
That's it.
like cheese.
And so, and again,
Chinese
it's what
food
you
for me.
and again, it's what you eat too: vegetables, fiber, which probably has a tie-in with your brain and the rest of your body.
But then if you listen to Larry King and take garlic, you'll have memory forever.
Garlic,
Grape
yeah.
nuts.
What is it? Grape
Grape
nuts.
I used to eat grape.
This tree bark is edible.
I used to eat grape nuts. I did.
They call it jerky, don't they? Is that what it is?
What was the guy's name?
Who?
There was a guy that back a long time ago.
Well, it was before my time.
What guy are you talking about?
It was on TV. He was one of the guys who was advertising grape nuts and grape nut flakes. The cereal.
Oh, the big bushy mustache, yeah?
No, not Wilford Brumley.
Oh, that's what I was
Oh
thinking.
yeah,
This
I always
was-
liked him.
No, this guy was like a scientist type.
Okay.
And he was, talking about all the things that are edible. This tree bark is edible, and stuff like that. And it's just, I mean, that's legit.
But we don't listen. We don't.
I gotta look him up.
We're giving you a disclaimer here right now. Don't eat tree bark unless you consult with your doctor.
That's
Right.
it.
Right? All right.
Is that fiber?
No,
Eating
I don't
wood?
think I remember what was his name? Oh, an old-time comedian tells the story. I think it was Myron anyway,
Myron Cohen.
I think that's who it was, and I heard it on Sirius.
Sounds like a Jewish mobster.
Yeah, probably was. He talked about his daughter became a doctor. And so he was having some heart issues, and the daughter said, "Dad, you need to eat more fiber," right? So she went in and tried to change his diet to get more fiber in it. He says he was eating so much fiber that when he went to the bathroom, he shitted out rattan furniture.
Oh, ding ding.
It wasn't me. It wasn't my
1950s New
That's
York
right.
comedy.
That's the Catskills comedy. All right,
That's
with that,
it.
you know what time it is? I haven't said this in 3 weeks. It's time for America Speaks.
That's right. Speak all you want.
America speaks.
All right,
You know,
America.
when you did that, you sound like you needed a poop at the end of that.
Right.
I just thought I'd say
We
that.
just real quick. We discussed what I was going to do on America Speaks, and I can't find the damn article. So it was going to
Make
stop.
something up.
I am.
Oh,
I
no,
got.
no, this was the one in
Well, yeah,
LA?
we're going to touch it real quick.
Oh, I thought that's when you were doing it.
Yeah, I was, but I couldn't find it here on here. So, but real quick, we'll talk about it. First of all, this is America Speaks, where you get your opinion is allowed, and we read your opinions, America, and then we discuss some of the opinions depending on the article. Yes. First of all, real quick, I wanted to mention Universal Studios. You know, the strike's going on right now with the writers, the directors, the actors, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in front of Universal Studios, they have a nice long sidewalk with all these beautiful trees that are covering the sidewalk.
Yes.
Nice and shady.
Yes.
Well, golly gee, the Universal Studios,
And
just by
this is-
coincidentally.
This is NBC Universal.
Oh, NBC Universal.
Not Universal Studios.
Yeah, no, Universal. Well, I meant to say
Is it-
Universal, the film studios, but yeah,
Oh, okay,
not
it's
Universal.
NBC
Yeah,
Universal.
NBC Universal. Let me get it right.
I don't want to get hate mail.
Yeah. Well, whatever. They decided to cut the trees and do some manicuring while the actors and writers are striking on the sidewalk, 110 degrees in LA.
Yeah.
And now they have no shade. And now we're wondering, was that a setup for them to, oh, no, it wasn't. But they got fined by the city $250.
Because
That'll get them back to the
Right.
negotiating table
That
quicker, right?
$250.
they fine them, if I read the article correctly, they fine them because they were trimming trees that they did not have jurisdiction over.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
So let's clarify
So that even makes it even more
Conspiracy like.
Yeah. Speaking of SAG, my brothers and sisters, I'll see you in a
Yeah,
couple
absolutely.
hours. But here, I found another one that
I'm
has
not
to do with
active.
actors and actresses.
Okay.
You know who Kristen Bell is? Hot little
Oh
blonde.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
oh, yeah.
Man, I love
John,
her. I
cool
hope
down over there.
Yeah. I guess Kristen Bell got stranded at an airport
Oh.
for 9 hours.
Okay.
She had there's a 9-hour delay. She spent $600 on pillows and blankets for her 9-hour
For
delay.
herself.
Apparently, she was her experience. She got stranded in Boston.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know if it's cold or not. It doesn't say she was with
Shouldn't be cold
anybody
in
or not.
July.
You're right; it shouldn't be. There was friends of hers. There was a couple friends with her.
Okay.
But so she decides to go in and spend $600. I didn't know you could buy pillows and blankets at an airport and pay that
Maybe
kind
they
of
were
money.
those neck rest pillows that just people buy to sit on the airplane. 'Cause I've never been in an airport where you can buy like bedding.
Well, here's people's
right.
opinion of this.
Let's hear it.
AZ Independent. I flew for United for 38 years as a wide-body captain. What the hell is that? Is that a pilot?
That's
I think it's a pilot.
You mean the plane was wide body or he was
As a wide body captain, that might be
Or
wide
maybe-
body. Yeah,
or maybe a significant other.
it says when he right. Ooh, you're gonna need some blankets and pillows for that one when
That's
he's
right.
sleeping in the den.
That's right.
And when he traveled with family and friends and saw a delay of over 4 hours, they'd go get a hotel, a few drinks, and rest. Doesn't take much to know that the flight was going to cancel, and any advice to her would be, why isn't she on the picket lines? Oh, why isn't she on the picket lines? How about Kryptonite
because she's
464?
stuck in the airport for 9 hours.
Okay, yeah, in Boston. Hopefully Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are with her. Kryptonite's 464. At some time in her 9-hour delay, she might have said, I'm never flying commercial again. Just a guess. Yeah, and that's another thing. Stars with that kind of money. Again, I don't expect you to go out and get a Learjet every time you fly, but you think you would first class or
But
you
we don't know where she sat on the plane. Though.
yeah,
Where she
we don't know any of that at all. But how about Mrs. Joe Schmo, 623? Must be nice to just run to the store and spend $600 on pillows and blankets for an overnight stay at the airport. Oh, the problems of Hollywood elites.
Well, I was going to say, though, she had a 9-hour layover. Maybe she left the airport to go buy those pillows and stuff and then come back. I mean, she had to go through security again.
Well, I don't know if you
or had one of her cronies go get it.
Yeah, I would say crony. A layover 9 hours, I don't think you'd leave and come back. I don't know if especially if you didn't know.
Yeah,
sometimes you're stuck there and you don't know
true.
How long the layover is going to be. Here's Dallas Me Mail. I traveled on business a lot and learned to avoid holiday end of a week. The worst. In LAX, AAA cancels flights on Thursday evening and said it would be Saturday before I could get another flight. I don't want to fly anymore. I think it's just horrible. How was your flight out there?
Going, and we flew United, and I had trouble with them back in February. But going out there last week, the plane was 50% full, on time.
That's cool.
We even landed like 30 minutes early. Coming home, however,
jam-packed.
We were no, it was probably about 80% full. But we were supposed to leave at like 8:23 p.m. Eastern time. Delay. We didn't get off the ground until about 10:45 p.m. East Coast. Put our head on a pillow at 2 a.m. our time, and my wife got up in 3 hours to go to work.
And why is it? What was the delay for? Why do they have these?
Well, the delay, at least from what we saw, was the plane coming from San Diego was delayed because there was bad weather coming across the country. The Midwest.
Okay.
So that slowed it down. You got to wait for the window to travel and yada, yada, yada.
Here's a guy, mail-in voter. $600 is chump change to multimillionaires. No reason to make a big deal of this to the little people. Not sure what the situation was being kicked out of the airport, but the amount of space they were taking up seems a bit much and a bit rude. Apparently, they took up fucking half the airport with all their...
Her and her entourage and everybody?
Playing around. Can you move, please? I need to lay down.
I think recently, speaking of United Airlines, so it could have been worse. They could have been stuck on the tarmac. Because I've read, actually, one of my friends here it happened here in Vegas, didn't it?
Yeah.
Plane was here.
Yeah, I saw that.
My friend Mercedes Yardley was on another plane.
I saw her. I saw that.
She mentioned where people were passing out. They were on the tarmac. They didn't run the air on the plane. And so here they were there. They're trying to get what? I mean, what are you doing?
I just can't stand it. I mean, I imagine flying anymore in today's world.
Once I'm on the plane, I loved the fly experience. But that was a big part of my anxiety traveling back and forth to New York.
Yeah, it would be after a while, especially if you have to travel for business.
And here's a suggestion. Speaking of traveling, here's a suggestion. They have, you can go to TSA.org or .gov, and you can actually, for $85, purchase what they call pre-check. So you don't have to stand in the big ass long line to go through TSA, take your shoes off, belt, computers. For $85 for 5 years, you go to the pre-check line. You don't have to take shoes off. No, you don't have to you basically just go right through the scanner. And usually that line's shorter than the regular line.
Right.
Wasn't so good in Newark, but going out there, my wife and I were through TSA in like 3 minutes because I've had that for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
So if anybody's traveling, or even if you think you're going to travel 1 or 2 times to a big airport somewhere, it's worth the $85 to register. You got to put it on your ticket number, and it shows up, and it's so much easier.
Hopefully the hijackers don't know about
I was just going to say, you just gave a prospective criminal out there an idea.
I'm sure they can find it online just like you can.
They can dig up $85 somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's a guy, medic, 1974. I know the feeling. I've been stuck at the office for 9 hours a day, and I'm still not done. I don't even have access to $600 worth of pillows.
That's a good one. That gets my vote so far.
Barking Dog 036. Many years ago, my family arrived at DIA, I guess it's Dallas International, at 5 a.m. headed for Hawaii. Not one position was open at United. We waited in line an hour to check in and then ran to catch the 7 a.m. to San Francisco. 7-hour delay there. People were going up to the gate desk and one guy punched the agent.
Oh, my God.
See, that kind of stuff in today's world. A box we brought along was confiscated by the Holiday Inn and given to the police. At midnight, we were negotiating to get it back, convincing them it was not a bomb. Travel adventures are nothing new, my friends. This is just the way it is. Wow.
Well, we all said that back 9/11 when it happened that, a new normal was defined, and we're still experiencing
it. This is my winner.
Okay.
Mom Dude 97. Salmon with wild rice and caprese salad, and I'll be fine. That was the meal served on the plane.
Oh my! They rarely, unless you're in first class. Although I don't know what happened on my flight. Usually they used to give you a meal for these East Coast, West Coast flights, right? Nope, not anymore. You get a bag of nuts, You get a bag of nuts and some drink options. That's it.
Here's one more.
Last one.
Winter 116. I got stranded in a Greyhound bus terminal for 11 hours once. I think I spent like $6 on a cheeseburger.
Well, if you get stranded in Vegas and you're in the airport, you got plenty of casino machines to keep you busy. All right, with that, we're going to wrap it up. Our time is up already. George, where'd the time go for crying out? And we covered a lot tonight.
We did.
Birthdays, fortunate passing. We got a lot.
Taking
done.
a dump. How many times you could take a shit. That one.
On it.
That's
and
it.
Carl Burnett's birthday.
That's right.
Next week, hopefully, the man Rick will be back with us. If he's caught enough fish, I have no idea, but hopefully he'll be back. Because 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to figure something out and celebrate a 1-year anniversary.
That's right.
1 year
2 weeks from today.
The Roundtable. All right. Final thoughts.
I just hope that the soldier that crossed the DMZ, I hope he's able to take a shit in North Korea. But again, everyone, keep your head above water. Just keep moving. Keep getting up in the morning. Keep doing your thing. Things will be all right.
There you go. And it's good to be back in studio. Make sure you join me tomorrow, 9 a.m. with Governor Val for Kiwanis Connects, Frank Pizarro, the founder of firefightermemorialtransport.org. Kson to take care of our military and first responders with the best send-off that they could have. Join us 9 a.m. right here.
Rick, we miss you. Can't wait to see you, Rick.
On WWDBTV. All right, Rick, we'll see you next week. As always, be kind to everybody. Why is that? Because we're all we have. Stay hydrated. We'll see you next time right here on TRT.
TRT.